Hey, look, it is 2024 and it's tax time. I got some real good advice for y'all. Now, I am not a tax professional, nothing like that. You can totally ignore this, but this might save you from getting audited. If those kids ain't yours, do not file them. If that child is not yours, do not file him as a dependent. The days of folks running around selling dependents and claiming dependents and doing stuff, putting kids on their taxes, their nephews on their taxes, their brothers on their taxes, their cousin on their taxes, man, let me tell you, it's 2024. We're in the year of like AI, chat GBT, all this artificial intelligence. You mess around and file somebody's kid on your taxes if you want. First thing you're doing, you're committing a federal offense, tax fraud. The government's gonna audit you. Sooner or later, you might get away with it once, twice, but they're gonna audit you, and then you're gonna end up owing that money. The sad part is a lot of times when you file this kid, or when you file a child, one of the parents, whether it's the mother or the father, are selling them to you. They're selling you their social security number, in essence. It's like, hey, how does the conversation go? Hey, you wanna file this boy? And you be like, yeah, I file him. How much they giving back? I get that child tax kid credit. Yeah, just give me $1,500. And you mess around, they give you the social security number. You go to your tax preparer, you include this child on your tax returns, right? You pay the person for allowing you to include them on your tax return. And you're gonna mess around in like next year, oh, I'm getting wet. You're gonna mess around in like next year after next, the government gonna audit you, right? And ask you for documents to prove that this was your dependent, and you can't prove it was your dependent because it's not your dependent. You're not on a birth certificate, you don't have like you might have a picture of the social security card, but you're gonna have to supply school records, doctor records showing that the kid lived at your address. And a lot of times, no matter what you supply to them, they are still not gonna accept it. They're gonna penalize you for the money that they gave you. They're gonna run it back. They're gonna hit you with penalty and interest, and they will hit you with a bunch of other penalties. So just know, the same con game that you used to run in the 90s, 96, 98, early 2000s, that little con game that you used to run in, don't try to run that con game now, because you're gonna be totally disappointed. Your friend might get away with it, your cousin might get away with it, your uncle, your auntie might get away with it. It is not worth you taking the risk. File your taxes right. If you're head of household, be head of household. But them dependents you put on your taxes, make sure they're yours. It is so many people that's getting hit. Look at it. In that whole stuff on the news with the Build Back Better plan, with Joe Biden funding the IRS, 85,000 IRS workers, millions of dollars going into the IRS infrastructure. They got to train them people. Them people gonna get trained on something. Don't let them get trained on you. I'm telling you, those people are gonna have to get trained doing something. And if your number come up, you're gonna end up owing the government because you got the hookup. And the person that gave you the hookup, when you called them asking for that money back, they didn't spend it. The only reason that they sold you their dependence is because they needed the money to do something else with. So don't think that you're gonna sit there and get the money back. You're gonna be paying the government back. You're gonna be on a payment plan. You're gonna be in some hardship and stuff. But trust and believe that is not the way. It is not worth it. Find something else to do. Find a second job, do Uber, do DoorDash. But even if you do that, make sure you make your estimated tax payments. I am not a tax professional. You go to whoever prepared your taxes or a tax advisor and get some advice for them. But I'm telling you from the Strizneets, don't be nobody's dummy. Y'all stay heavily motivated, stay humble, sit down.